Konnichiwa. 来てくれてありがとう。Yeah, hopefully I said that right. So, as Gary mentioned, I'll be describing for you a number of the technology trends that we saw manifest at the 2015 International CES. But really, we'd love to talk about trends, and I think many of you, by show of hands, did any of you actually attend the 2015 International CES in Las Vegas? Yeah, so several of you. So you're supremely aware of those trends, and it's important to talk about that and have a dialogue and debate about how those trends are going to develop and manifest and impact our society. But I want to start our dialogue today talking about opportunity, because I think as important as it is to discuss and describe our industry's latest innovations and technological trends, it's even more important from a business standpoint to articulate how those trends are translating into business opportunities, not only here in Japan and the United States, but also right around the world. And to help me describe this for you, I'm going to be referencing several data points from our Digital World project that CEA undertakes with GfK. And many of you are probably aware of GfK and know them as a top-tier global market research company. And a snapshot of our methodology is that at CEA we collect shipment data for the US market, and we have robust forecasts going out 5 years for hundreds of technology products. And we pair that data with retail sales data on technology products that GfK collects in over 100 countries around the world. And when you put these two data sets together, we come up with a view toward global consumer technology spending. And when we look at the data, at the very top level, in 2014, the total spending figure topped $1 trillion US. And we normalize all the various currencies around the world into US dollars for simplicity of analysis. But as you can see, we've had a steady trend of growth over the past several years, and we expect that to continue, and that will be born on the back of a number of the innovations I'll describe for you in the coming minutes. But it's important to note that this is spending only on devices. Only on devices. There are a number of us that use technology, and we're purchasing technology products each and every year, but we're also spending a lot of our disposable income on content, services, connectivity, and so forth. So it's just important to recognize this is on device spending. There's much more to the total consumer spend story, but we'll look at devices for sake of argument for this presentation. And in addition to the technologies themselves, there are many socioeconomic, geopolitical trends and events that really underpin and undergird this spending figure. So there are a number of moving parts that influence the global consumer wallet and the growth that we find therein. But let me break it down a little bit for you by region. And in this analysis, we look at the global consumer tech wallet in terms of 7 global regions. And they're listed for you on your left of the slide there. Central and Eastern Europe, countries like Czech Republic, Poland, Russia, one of the BRICS markets, Middle East Africa, Latin America, emerging Asia, which is a very significant region anchored by 2 very populous nations, China and India. And we'll be talking in the coming minutes about how those very large populations are, without doubt, going to influence the balance of spending power over the next several years when it comes to technology spending on the consumer front. Developed Asia, countries like Japan and Korea, and then North America and Western Europe, self-explanatory. But the big trend when we look at this regional picture is that the emerging Asia region, again anchored by China and India, overtook North America as the leader in consumer technology spending. And this is a trend that we do not see reversing. In fact, this trend will only accelerate by virtue of the literally and figuratively millions of new consumers in those countries, principally India and China, that are coming to market each and every year. So very, very large populations, more affluent consumers, those economies are growing rapidly. We hear this in the news. And so it's adding up to a real shift in spending power. And in terms of percentage terms, you can see this. So 26% last year allocated to the emerging Asia region versus 22% for North America. And again, this is a trend that's probably going to accelerate. And this is, to be honest, is one, this shift in spending power is one of a range of reasons why we're bringing the CES to Asia. And Gary Shapiro will be back up on stage in the minutes ahead to describe in detail our inaugural event in Shanghai coming up later this year. But for now, let's go back to the data. And what we like to do is, in addition to looking at the regional picture, we like to also organize these regions into two hemispheres. And we put them in these hemispheres of mature markets and developing markets. And here we see, when we look at it from this perspective, really we find the globe searching for equilibrium. And no doubt, probably sooner than later, we'll see that balance of spending power from the developed world, places like North America, Western Europe, here in Japan, in Korea, shift from there over to places like China and Central and Eastern Europe. And again, this will probably happen sooner than we think. But now let's shift the discussion to devices. I mean, this is what makes the technology universe spin, and this is what we love to talk about, because we can't wait to get our hands on the latest innovations, and we see this embodied at the International CES each and every year. But the question is, which devices are really driving growth in that consumer technology wallet? And what we find is really interesting, and over here on the right are the products that really make up that global consumer technology spending picture. And what's very interesting when we look at the global data this way, we see that there are 7 products that account for the vast majority of consumer tech spending. And smartphones are really chief among them. And I like to call this group of 7 products Shichinin no Samurai.